welcome back. This is Scuba with more Let's Play Xenosaga Episode 1. I'm joined, as always, by our near-end game squad of Shion, Ziggy, Chaos, Cosmos, Momo, and Junior are in the back as well. When we last left off, we completed the Song of Nephilim. We are very, very far in the game. In fact, we need to start making our end game preparations. So, with that in mind, let's go into the database. This is going to be a little bit of time in the database. It should not take up too much time, though. There is, I've already gone and checked, there is only one entry that I am missing at this point. I am not sure exactly when it shows up. It's I'll just give it away. It has to do with the eggs, so maybe I need to use the eggs in order to get it to show up. We'll see if I can't get it to show up. I'll just tell you guys what it says, but I should be able to get it along the way here. Otherwise, we are almost done. They tell us what abyss means, first off. The literal translation is deep chasm. This word can be defined as a deep hole, or it can also be a reference to hell. The in-game reference is to a double black hole which appeared in old motion space. It's kind of weird, once again, the double black hole, but what do I know? Albedo! It has been a long time since we have seen Albedo. He was born in 4741, which makes him 26 years old. Everybody has had their birthday, apparently. Albedo Piasora. In Psychology and Alchemy, which was written in 1944, C.G. Young refers to albedo, or whitening, as one stage in the process of human individuation, as symbolized in alchemic terms. I don't know much about Young to really expound upon that. Young is very, very prominent in the Xeno series, though, I can tell you that. This albedo is a nickname for URTV unit number 667 in reference to his milky white hair. Now, unfortunately, they're not really going to go over what the URTVs really are in this game. As they'll say further on, they're like, oh, you better wait until the next game to find out, and you're like, damn you, just tell me. So unfortunately, we're not really going to find all the answers this time. I'll just say that right now. The details of Albedo's mech are currently unknown. However, judging from its enormous size, over 10 meters tall, its lack of equipment such as the DSSS, and its ability to destroy Gnosis several kilometers long with one blow, it outclasses the eggs. Like I said, if we had these mechs instead of the eggs, I might actually use them once in a while. Its primary power source also appears to differ from a standard generator or a transfer-capable generator. That is somewhat important. The generator on Albedo's mech doesn't seem to be tapping into whatever radio waves or whatever is transferring energy to the eggs on everybody else. Well, the generator's on everybody else's eggs, I should say. So his works a little bit differently. We have seen the majority of these already. If you see one that you don't think I went over, or if I didn't go over clearly enough, let me know. This might be your last chance for me to go over them in more detail, in case there is anything. If you guys do ask, though, I'll probably do some research on what it is, if that is necessary. Most of this, though, we have seen. Did we see the Damarung? I don't think we did. This is a free orbiting colony. It also functions as Vector's headquarters, so the ship is their headquarters. However, its 1,000 kilometers size makes it more of an artificial planet rather than a colony. That's no moon. All the core branches of Vector and its subsidiary corporations are located here, including the first R&D division and Shion's living quarters. Shion lives on the Damarung. I don't know if she does that anymore, but she did, at least at one point. Most of this we have seen. Here is the one that I am missing. I already know what it is. I looked it up because I was paranoid about missing something. I could have missed it. It could require me to use the eggs in battle, which I honestly have not done very often, if ever, unless I was forced to. So that could be the trigger. I will be using the eggs before we are done here, before we move on to Proto Merkaba. So I'll try If it doesn't show up, though, I'll just let you guys know what it says. It's nothing all that important, nothing that should really send me out of my way to get it, but I'm going to anyway. All the rest of these we have seen, except a corn of wheat falling to the ground. Corn not meaning like corn how we think of it. Think of it as like a very small piece of wheat. Verily, verily, I say unto you, except a corn of wheat fall into the ground and die, it abideth alone. But if it die, it bringeth forth much fruit. And that's John 12:24. Just a quick assessment here. I assume he's talking about Christ. Considering it's the Gospel of John. Maybe that's just me. But I am no biblical scholar. Honestly, I think I read John, but I didn't read it like in a classroom type setting or an analysis type setting, so I probably don't know as much as I should. Frailty, thy name, from Shakespeare's Hamlet. Thank you. Hamlet, another thing I probably need to read, but there you go. Frailty, thy name is, and then whoever you want to name, usually yourself, to be honest with you. I think in Hamlet he refers to himself that way. Guiding Kukai, number 2. He is URTV unit number 669. Remember that albedo was number 667. Just something to keep in mind. A biological weapon whose life energy wavelength cancels that of Udu. All 669 URTV units originated from the same embryonic culture, but were then subjected to an induced mutation to develop their unique gifts. This accounts for the differences in hair or eye color, despite their shared embryonic origins. In other words, they're more or less clones. That's not the official name for them, but that's pretty much what they are. We'll go into a little bit more detail, but we're not really going to find out what that all means probably until episode 2, I believe it is when it comes out. I was hoping for this one, but it didn't happen, unfortunately. Junior's ability is to control time, or growth, which is kind of weird that those would be kind of together, while albedo can regenerate his own body. We've seen that one. Guinan can telepathically communicate with Junior, but uses his voice to hypnotically manipulate people. That makes Mary and Shelley look a little bit creepier to me. Kukai was a fictional persona created by the Second Motion government as a means to pool their special operations funds. Following the Miltian conflict and Helmer's rescue of Guinan and Junior, they misspelled Guinan there for whatever reason, they took on the Kukai surname to justify and establish the Kukai Foundation. So in other words, there is no Kukai. It's always been Helmer, the Second Motion government, and Guinan. There is no Kukai. He's not an heir. There's no guy. So we're definitely finding out some more about this. Guinan can apparently hypnotize people. Well, hypnotically manipulate, which I assume is hypnotize, but that is interesting. I don't think they've ever really shown that yet. So that's just something to keep in mind. We'll see if we can see that later on, now that they've flat out told us that he can do that. Once again, everything around here seems to be the same. I think that was from The Wizard of Oz. Something like that. Is that it? Junior number 2. We've been kind of begging for this one, haven't we? 26 years old, 4740. Shouldn't he be 27? Either way, he is one of the surviving URTV units. He is a human specially created as an antithesis to Udu, the living consciousness which jeopardized the Galaxy Federation in the past. His relationship to albedo and Guinan Senior are to be revealed in further detail in episodes 2 and 3. So unfortunately, we're not going to find out that much more about Junior. They don't even give his number, do they? Do they say it here? No, they don't even say it in the first one, but I think we all know his number. His number is number 666. So we now have the numbers 666, 667, and 669. Obviously, we're still missing quite a few numbers, considering that there were 669 of these guys, and we only have 3 of them left. Where the hell are the other URTVs? Junior and Albedo's powers. The aura surrounding Junior and Albedo is one of their special abilities, a result of the induced mutation process to which they were subjected to at birth. So there you go. That's the explanation for it. They had a mutation process during their embryonic stages, or at least their very early fetal stages. And that's why they can create balls of energy around themselves. That is the explanation that they're going to give, and that's the one that I will, I guess, accept. I don't really have a choice in the matter, though, do I? Lots of things that we have seen before. Lots and lots of them. Holy crap. Man in a scarlet cloak. That is new. I'm not even sure if they actually showed him yet. But you remember Virgil? I can say his name now because they revealed it. It was in the all blue, kind of purplish looking thing. There was also a guy in red. That's the man that they're referring to. So if you guys didn't catch that, there was a guy in red that was calling shots over Virgil, who was in the blue cloak, who damn near kicked our ass. An individual that appears to be Wilhelm's advisor, this man in the scarlet cloak. His true identity is unknown. Not to me, but whatever. But the fact that he was giving orders to Lieutenant Virgil indicates that he is a man of very high rank. Whether he has any connections to Vector is yet unknown. Why would you bring it up? Just a little thing here. Wilhelm's advisor. But does he have any connections to Vector? That is a connection. That's just me. Whatever. But we'll see if there's any more connections than just that. But, chances are they wouldn't say it unless there was one. It's like, does he have any connections to the UTIC Foundation? No, they specifically said Vector. So I assume that there's something there. Something going on there. So we're just going to keep on going. Negredo is definitely new. This is more Jungian terminology in Psychology and Alchemy. Once again, 1944. C.G. Jung refers to Negredo, or blackening, as the initial stage in the process of human individuation, as symbolized in alchemic terms. Once again, I don't know enough to really elaborate on that, other than individuation really just means becoming your own person psychologically. The nickname for jet black-haired URTV unit number 669, Guinan. The assumed name Guinan was taken from a kitten he owned with Rubido, but just Rubido apparently. Guinan, incidentally, is also the name of King Marsil's horse in the 11th century French epic Song of Roland. Now I'm trying to think here. Song of Roland. Oh, right. When the French held off the Moors and stopped the progress of the Islamic Empire. That is kind of sad that I knew that, isn't it? Just a little bit? I don't know, it's kind of cool, I guess, too. But yeah, Song of Roland. That is why in Spain and Portugal there are mosques still standing. I believe in Portugal as well. I know in Spain. But not in France. No, they still don't really like him there. That's a whole different subject. Anyway, Péché, that was a pun that he used. Remember, he was referring to Momo as Mapesh. We're talking about Albedo here, in case you're lost a little bit. Remember, Albedo was referring to Momo as Mapesh, my peach, and he said, otherwise I may become Péché, and he was calling himself a sinner. Which I'm gonna go ahead and say he is, considering he freaking took out the entire fleet. The fleet. Not just a guy, or not just a freaking boat or a spaceship. He took out the fleet. You are definitely a Péché. Anything else here? There we go. Proto-Merkaba, that is definitely new as well. An immense industrial plant built under the supervision of Joachim Mizrahi. Although its purpose is unknown, it has the power to absorb gnosis and convert them into a power source. It is also the birthplace of Momo. Great place to be born. It absorbs gnosis and converts them into a power source. What more do I need to say about this thing? We need to destroy it. Maybe. Maybe we could use it for our side, though. Maybe we could just absorb all the Gnosis into it. Maybe that's an idea. Is anybody thinking about that except for me? Maybe that's just me.